That person you trust the most? They're probably manipulating you right now. Most people never spot these tactics until it's too late. Today I'm going to expose 40 manipulation techniques that control your everyday life. And trust me, once you see number 23, you'll never look at your relationships the same way again. Let me tell you something scary. You're being manipulated dozens of times every single day. By your friends, your family, your boss, even people you just met. But here's what's really going to blow your mind. You probably don't spot 90% of these manipulation attempts. I've spent years studying how master manipulators work, the tricks they use, the subtle ways they get inside your head. And what I discovered shocked me. These aren't just random mind games. They're carefully crafted psychological weapons designed to control how you think, feel, and act. Today, I'm going to break down exactly how these manipulation tactics work. Not just the obvious ones everyone knows about. I'm talking about the advanced, sneaky techniques that even trained psychologists sometimes miss. By the end of this video, you'll see manipulation happening everywhere. And more importantly, you'll know how to defend yourself against it. Let's dive into these 40 manipulation tactics, starting with one of the most dangerous ones. Tactic number 1. Gaslighting. Think about the last time someone made you doubt your own memory. Maybe they said something like, "That never happened," or "You're remembering it wrong." That's gaslighting, and it's one of the most powerful manipulation tools out there. Here's how it works. The manipulator slowly makes you question your reality. They'll deny things you know happened. They'll twist your words around. They'll make you feel crazy for remembering things differently. And the scariest part? It works so well that by the end, you're actually apologizing to them for something they did to you. I saw this happen to a friend recently. Her boyfriend would constantly tell her she was too sensitive or imagining things whenever she called him out on his bad behavior. After a few months, she started doubting everything. Her memories, her feelings, even her sanity. That's the power of gaslighting. Tactic number 2. Reverse psychology. This one's sneaky because it feels like you're making your own choice, but you're actually doing exactly what the manipulator wants. They tell you to do one thing, knowing you'll do the opposite. Let me give you a real example. A manager wants his employee to work late. Instead of asking directly, he says, "You should go home early today. You probably can't handle the extra workload anyway." Now the employee wants to prove him wrong by staying late. See how that works? The manager got exactly what he wanted by pretending to want the opposite. Tactic number 3. Choice restriction. Ever notice how some people give you choices that aren't really choices at all? Like when someone says, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." That's choice restriction in action. The manipulator makes you feel like you're in control by giving you options. But here's the trick. All the options lead to what they want. It's like when a parent asks their kid, "Do you want to do your homework now or after dinner?" The kid feels like they have a choice, but either way, they're doing that homework. Tactic number 4. Guilt tripping. This one's all about emotional manipulation. The person makes you feel bad about something, even if you didn't actually do anything wrong. They'll use phrases like, "After everything I've done for you," or "I guess my feelings don't matter." I've seen people completely change their plans, spend money they don't have, or stay in toxic relationships, all because someone made them feel guilty. That's how powerful this tactic is. Tactic number 5. Manipulative negotiation. You know those car salesmen who say, "This deal is only good today," or "Someone else is looking at the same car"? That's manipulative negotiation. They create fake urgency to pressure you into making decisions before you're ready. But it's not just salespeople. Watch out for anyone who tries to rush your decisions or makes you feel like you'll miss out if you don't act now. That's usually a sign they don't want you to think things through carefully. Tactic number 6. Amplifying issues. Some people can turn a small problem into World War III. That's because they know if they make something seem like a huge crisis, you're more likely to give in to their demands. Here's how it looks. Your roommate gets upset because you left a dish in the sink. Suddenly they're bringing up every little thing you've done wrong in the past 6 months, acting like this one dish is proof you don't respect them at all. Before you know it, you're apologizing and promising to change, all over one dish. Tactic number 7. Love bombing. This might be the most dangerous tactic on our list. Love bombing is when someone showers you with attention, compliments, and affection. But it's all fake. They're setting you up for manipulation later. First, it feels amazing. They text you constantly. They call you perfect. They want to spend every minute with you. But once they've got you hooked, things change. All that attention becomes a weapon. They start withholding it when you don't do what they want. Tactic number 8. Silent treatment. The silent treatment isn't just someone being quiet. It's a power move. They're punishing you by withdrawing communication, making you feel anxious and isolated until you give in to what they want. The worst part? It works. People will often apologize for things they didn't do, just to end the silence. That's exactly what the manipulator wants. Tactic number 9. Triangulation. This is where things get really interesting. Triangulation is when someone brings other people into your conflicts to make you feel outnumbered. They'll say things like everyone agrees with me, or I talked to Sarah, and she thinks you're being unreasonable too. I saw this happen at work last week. A manager was trying to get his team to work weekends. Instead of just asking directly, he started telling each person, well, everyone else is willing to do it. Each person thought they were the only one holding out. Classic triangulation. Tactic number 10. Strategic flattery. Now, this isn't just regular compliments. This is calculated praise designed to lower your defenses. The manipulator studies what you're most insecure about, then specifically compliments those things. Think about that person who suddenly starts praising your work right before asking for a favor. Or the friend who tells you how smart you are right before borrowing money. That's not random timing. It's strategic flattery. Tactic number 11. Scarcity manipulation. This one's everywhere once you start looking for it. Only 3 spots left. Limited time offer. Once it's gone, it's gone. Sound familiar? That's scarcity manipulation. The trick is making you feel like you'll miss out on something valuable if you don't act fast. It bypasses your logical thinking and triggers your fear of loss. Next time you feel pressured to buy something quickly, ask yourself, is this real scarcity, or is someone playing mind games? Tactic number 12. Emotional blackmail. This is where they use your emotions as weapons against you. If you really loved me, you would... Or after everything I've done for you. These phrases are huge red flags. The manipulator creates an emotional debt that you never actually owed, then demands payment. They make you feel like you're a bad person if you don't do what they want. Tactic number 13. Fake concern. Watch out for people who disguise control as care. I'm just worried about you, or I'm saying this because I care. But somehow their concern always leads to them getting what they want. It's especially effective because it makes you feel guilty for questioning their motives. After all, they're just trying to help, right? Wrong. Real concern empowers you. Fake concern controls you. Tactic number 14. Blame shifting. This is when someone takes their mistakes and somehow makes them your fault. They could literally break something with their own hands, and still end up saying, well, if you hadn't made me angry. The scary part is how quick they are. You'll start a conversation trying to address something they did wrong, and 5 minutes later you're the one apologizing. That's how good manipulators are at shifting blame. Tactic number 15. Professional victim. Some people have a PhD in playing the victim. Everything's always happening to them. Everyone's always against them. And somehow, their problems are always someone else's fault. The goal? To make you feel bad for them so you'll stop holding them accountable. It's hard to be mad at someone who's already acting like the world is against them, right? Tactic number 16. Negative reinforcement. This isn't about punishment. It's about relief. The manipulator creates stress or discomfort, then offers to remove it if you do what they want. It's like having someone step on your foot, then saying they'll stop if you give them money. The trick is, they're not actually giving you anything. They're just stopping the bad thing they were doing to you. But it feels like they're helping, so you end up grateful. Tactic number 17. Passive aggression. This is for manipulators who want to attack you while maintaining plausible deniability. Oh, I was just joking. Or you're so sensitive, when they say something mean. The real danger is how it makes you doubt yourself. Was that comment really an insult? Are you overreacting? That confusion is exactly what they want. Tactic number 18. Love withdrawal. Think of this as emotional ransom. The manipulator threatens to withdraw their love or attention unless you do what they want. Maybe we should take a break, right when you disagree with them about something. It's especially effective on people who fear abandonment. The threat of losing someone's love can make people agree to almost anything. Tactic number 19. False promises. Ever notice how some people are always promising amazing things that never actually happen? That's because false promises are manipulation gold. They get what they want now by promising something later. Let me give you a real example. Your boss keeps promising a promotion next quarter to keep you working extra hours. But somehow, next quarter never comes. There's always some excuse, some reason why it has to wait just a little longer. Tactic number 20. Isolation. This is one of the most dangerous tactics because it happens so slowly you barely notice it. The manipulator gradually cuts you off from your support system. Your friends are a bad influence. Your family doesn't understand you like I do. Before you know it, you're dependent on them for everything. Emotional support, advice, validation. And that's exactly where they want you. Tactic number 21. Fear-mongering. Fear is a powerful motivator, and skilled manipulators know exactly how to use it. They'll exaggerate threats or create fake dangers to control your behavior. Think about those emails saying your account will be deleted if you don't act now. Or that person who keeps telling you you'll never find anyone better than them. That's fear-mongering in action. Tactic number 22. Future faking. This is like false promises on steroids. The manipulator paints this amazing picture of the future. All the things you'll do together, all the ways your life will improve. But it's all just bait. They're selling you a dream they never planned to deliver. By the time you realize it's not happening, they've already gotten what they wanted from you. Tactic number 23. Stonewalling. When someone completely shuts down during a conflict, refusing to engage or even acknowledge the problem, that's stonewalling. It's not the same as needing space. It's a power move. They're sending a clear message: either drop the issue, or the silence continues. It's especially effective because it makes you feel like you're the unreasonable one for wanting to discuss problems. Tactic number 24. Relationship triangulation. This one's specific to romantic relationships. The manipulator brings up other people to make you feel insecure. My ex would never have complained about this, or Sarah at work really understands me. They're not actually interested in these other people. They just want to keep you off balance and competing for their attention. Tactic number 25. False comparisons. Why can't you be more like? If you've heard this, you've experienced false comparisons. The manipulator compares you to others, but only in ways designed to make you feel inadequate. The trick is, they're usually comparing your weaknesses to someone else's strengths. Or worse, comparing you to an idealized version of someone they've invented. Tactic number 26. Double bind. This is when someone puts you in a no-win situation. Whatever you do, you're wrong. If you stay late at work, you're neglecting your family. If you go home early, you're not committed to your job. The goal is to keep you feeling like you can never get it right. That way, you're always trying to please them, always off balance. Tactic number 27. Moving the goalposts. Just when you think you've met their standards, they change them. You did exactly what they asked. Well, now they wanted it done differently. You met their deadline? They actually needed it sooner. It's like playing a game where the rules keep changing. You can never win because they'll never let you. Tactic number 28. Preemptive defense. This is when someone defends themselves against accusations you haven't even made yet. I know you're going to say I did this on purpose, but they're trying to make you feel guilty for even thinking about criticizing them. It's a clever way of shutting down complaints before they start. Tactic number 29. Playing dumb. I didn't know or I don't understand. When you hear these phrases constantly, especially from someone smart, watch out. Playing dumb is a way to avoid responsibility while making you do all the work. I once knew a guy who was a literal rocket scientist, but whenever it was his turn to clean the apartment, he suddenly didn't know how to use the vacuum cleaner. That's not confusion. That's manipulation. Tactic number 30. Bait and switch. This classic manipulation tactic starts with an amazing offer that gets switched once you're committed. Think about that job that promised one salary during interviews but offered much less once you'd already quit your old position. The real skill is in making the switch seem reasonable. They'll have excuses ready, making you feel like you're being unreasonable for expecting what was originally promised. Tactic number 31. Minimizing. When someone tells you you're overreacting or it's not a big deal, that's minimizing. They're trying to make you doubt your own emotions and reactions. The scary part? It works. After enough minimizing, you start questioning whether you have the right to be upset about anything. That's exactly what they want, for you to stop trusting your own feelings. Tactic number 32. Feigned helplessness. This is the person who's mysteriously capable of complex tasks when they want to be, but becomes completely helpless when it's something they don't want to do. Watch out for people who are too overwhelmed to handle their own problems but somehow have the energy for things they enjoy. That's not real helplessness. It's strategic incompetence. Tactic number 33. Information overload. Ever had someone explain something simple with so many unnecessary details that you end up confused? That's information overload, a tactic used to confuse and overwhelm you. They'll bury the important points under mountains of irrelevant information. By the time they're done, you're too mentally exhausted to question anything. Tactic number 34. The sympathy ploy. Some manipulators collect tragic stories like trading cards. Every time you try to hold them accountable, they pull out a sad story from their past. The goal? To make you feel guilty for expecting normal adult behavior from them. After all, how can you be mad at someone who's been through so much? Tactic number 35. Selective memory. I don't remember promising that. Or are you sure we discussed this? Selective memory is convenient forgetting at its finest. They remember everything you did wrong 6 months ago, but completely forget their own promises from yesterday. This tactic works because it's hard to prove someone actually remembers something. It creates just enough doubt to make you back down. Tactic number 36. Strategic truth-telling. This is when someone tells you just enough truth to seem honest, while strategically leaving out crucial information. They're not technically lying, they're just editing reality to serve their purposes. Think of someone who admits to a small mistake to cover up a bigger one. Or someone who tells you part of a conversation but leaves out the important context. Tactic number 37. Playing the savior. This manipulator creates problems just so they can solve them. They'll sabotage situations behind the scenes, then swoop in to save the day. Everyone thinks they're a hero, but they're actually the source of the chaos. It's like someone puncturing your tire just so they can help you change it. You end up feeling grateful to the person who caused the problem in the first place. Tactic number 38. Black and white thinking. If you're not with me, you're against me. Manipulators love false dichotomies because they eliminate middle ground. They present everything as all or nothing, forcing you to choose between extremes. This tactic removes nuance from situations that deserve careful thought. It's especially effective because it plays on our natural desire for simplicity and clarity. Tactic number 39. The setup. This is when someone puts you in a situation designed to make you fail, then uses that failure against you. They might give you an impossible task, withhold crucial information, or set unrealistic deadlines. When you inevitably struggle, they use it as proof that you're incompetent or unreliable. It's a calculated way to undermine your confidence and credibility. Tactic number 40. The long game. Some manipulators play the long game. They'll spend months or even years building trust and gathering information about you. They remember your weaknesses, your fears, your insecurities, not to support you, but to use them against you later. This is probably the most dangerous tactic because it's so hard to spot. By the time you realize what's happening, they already know exactly which buttons to push. Now that you know these tactics, you'll start seeing them everywhere. In your relationships, work, even in casual conversations. But here's the thing, knowledge is only the first step. The real power comes from learning how to defend yourself against these manipulation attempts. Think about all the times these tactics have been used on you. All the times you gave in to guilt trips, fell for false promises, or doubted yourself because of gaslighting. That stops today. Remember, manipulators rely on your ignorance. They count on you not recognizing their tactics. But now you know their playbook. You can spot their moves before they make them. This isn't just about protecting yourself. It's about taking back control of your life. No more doubting your memory. No more questioning your judgment. No more giving in to emotional blackmail. Subscribe now to master the art of psychological self-defense.